What's up, guys? Hi, Android here. I just wanted to talk about my thoughts on the cartoon line and what's to come after. So, this was revealed in San Diego Comic Con that we are getting the cartoon line at retail. It's going to replace Origins, because Origins is going to Creations and this is going to take its place. I feel like with the cartoon line, that certain people think that the collector and stuff like that's going to go to Creations, when in reality, they're going to need some kind of vehicles for this toy line. I mean, some kind of vehicles and playsets for this thing to succeed, right? So, how do we know that the Collector, Eternos Palace aren't the vehicle and playset for this line? It's just things to think about. Because that would be pretty amazing. Like, if they released this toy line and Eternos Palace was the playset, and then they released the Collector for one of the vehicles, like, there's plenty of ideas that they can do with this. They can do vehicles that you only saw in the cartoon, there's so many things that they could do. It just doesn't have to be Creations, just because of the attorney and fan vote, that doesn't mean that every single thing could end up being Creations, I just think that's a really cool idea, because no one's really thinking about that, and there can be some really interesting things to come out of that if they were to go that route, to have vehicles and playsets for this line. But then the question would be, how long are they going to go with this line? Is it just going to be like the main core people, like He-Man, Teela, Man-at-Arms, Orko? Or is it going to be like He-Man, Man-at-Arms, Orko, Teela, She-Ra, Fisto, Mossman? Is it going to keep going and going and going? Because that's an interesting thing to think too. Because, like, how long will this line go? Like, how many waves do we expect to see in this line? Because I have a feeling that once this line wraps up, that then they're going to bring Powers of Greyskull toy line to retail, because it's Powers of Greyskull, it's not Masters of the Universe Origins. Yes, it has the art, the toys, the figures are gonna have the Origins articulation and bodies and everything. It's not like they're gonna be different that way, but the name of the product is gonna be different. It's gonna be the Powers of Greyskull, or the Powers of Greyskull Origins, Either or. That's gonna happen, And then we could possibly see the dinosaurs, maybe even the giants. There's nothing that says we couldn't get the giants released at retail. Because, I mean, right now you can go to retail and you can get the giant Ninja Turtles, which they're not that smaller than the giants in Motu. You can walk in right now to retail and get something that size. Now, I do believe that Gigantosaurus will be a crowdfund Kickstarter. And I think that if they did release it today, they would do a lot more. It wouldn't just be the chest opens up and there's a little gun. I believe that if they were to do it today, the whole entire side would open up and there would be this huge robotic command center type thing. Like, I believe that that would be more possible today, you know? And it would also justify us having to spend whatever money we would have to spend on a crowdfund like that. Because this would be a once-in-a-lifetime thing, you know? Just very cool things to think about, because I do think that the powers of Greyskull, whether it's just powers of Greyskull or it's powers of Greyskull Origins, it will come to retail. I do believe that. Once the cartoon line wraps up, it'll come to retail. Now, as far as creations go, once the vintage line wraps up with that, I believe there's a possibility that She-Ra and the Princess of Power, the toy lines for that, could go to creations, you know, and that would fill that gap. So we would have Powers of Greyskull at retail, and we would have the She-Ra toy line at creations, which would make more sense because more people would buy Powers of Greyskull at retail than they would buy She-Ra at retail. You know, it just makes more sense to do it that way. These are just some of the thoughts that I've been having about this whole thing, you know. Powers of Greyskull at retail, She-Ra at creations. It makes total sense. A lot of fans would be happy with this, you know. And the Giants being at retail, you know, like I said, that would make total sense for them to be at retail. I mean, they could be creations, they could be crowdfund, sure. But you can walk into a store right now and you can get stuff that are dang near that big, you know. I think people just think that, oh, because of Hasbro and the Sentinel and all that stuff, that, oh, we can only get stuff this big because of crowdfund. No, you can go into a store right now and you can get those giant Ninja Turtles. You know? Those vintage looking giant Ninja Turtles. And they're almost that size. Almost. I think they could do the same thing with the Giants. They could release the Giants at retail, and they could release the dinosaurs, most of them at retail, but then they could have Gigantosaurus and a couple of other brand new big dinosaurs. They could have that in creations Kickstarters, or fan votes, or whatever they want to do, you know? Made to order, you name it. I think that would be perfect. I think it would please fans. I think having Powers of Greyskull at retail and having She-Ra at creations, like I said, it makes total sense. And I think it would please a lot of people. I really do. And speaking of creations, I know tomorrow we're going to be getting Lady Slither, which is awesome. I'm going to try to get 2. If I'm lucky enough, I'm going to try to get 2. Even if I got 1, I would be satisfied, but I'm going to try for 2. I know it's going to be expensive. And this would be the 4th female. No, technically 1, 2, 3, 4. This would be the 5th female character in the Orange line. The Origins line. Lady Slitherwood. So I'm hoping that we can get a Horde version of the Cat-Ra. I'm hoping we can get a Horde version of Cat-Ra come to Origins. That would be amazing. But like I said, the future is still full for Origins. Powers of Greyskull for retail, potentially. She-Ra for creations. It would make total sense. A lot of people would be happy. Mattel, come on. Come on, Mattel. We want to buy. Give us the products. Give them to us at an affordable price. Don't make it hard like Mossman, Duplico, and Mini Comics. Manny Faces, do not make it hard. We want to buy. We want this easy. We want to give you our money. Come on, Mattel. We want to buy. Anyways, these are just all my thoughts on this. I will catch you guys and gals on the flip side. Peace.